Let's talk about Mount Rushmore, the giant mountain in South Dakota with 4 presidents' faces. But here's the twist. The original idea wasn't even about presidents. Doane Robinson, a local historian, wanted to carve Western legends, think Lewis and Clark or Native American chiefs, into the Black Hills to attract tourists. His pitch? Turn the Black Hills into a must-see destination with massive stone faces. The community thought he was a little crazy, but the promise of tourism dollars was tempting. Robinson called his idea the Needles, after the granite spires he wanted to carve. He imagined immortalizing the spirit of the American frontier in stone. He wrote letters, made calls, and slowly convinced people this wild plan could work. The idea was bold, maybe even ridiculous, but it started to catch on. South Dakota needed something big, and this was as big as it gets. Eventually the search began for a sculptor daring enough to take on the challenge. The project was set in motion and the Black Hills would never be the same. All they needed now was someone with the vision and ego to make it happen. Enter the man who would change everything. The stage was set for a monument that would put South Dakota on the map. Enter Gutzon Borglum. Yes, that's his real name. Borglum was no ordinary artist. He was a showman with a mountain-sized ego, perfect for the job. He'd already worked on Stone Mountain in Georgia, so he knew how to turn rock into icons. When he heard about Robinson's plan, he had a bigger vision, not just local heroes, but national ones. Borglum wanted a shrine of democracy, a monument to America itself. He picked the mountain, chose the southeast face for sunlight, and even named it Mount Rushmore. Borglum was a perfectionist, clashing with backers and insisting on total control. He blended art and engineering, using dynamite and pneumatic drills to shape the granite. He wasn't just carving faces, he was carving an idea into the heart of the country. His passion and stubbornness drove the project forward. Borglum commanded the mountain, and the mountain listened. With the artist in place, it was time to choose the faces that would define the monument. The next step, picking the presidents. With only 4 spots, choosing the presidents was like picking an all-star team for American history. Borglum wanted each face to represent a key chapter in the nation's story. First up, George Washington, the founding father and symbol of the nation's birth. Next, Thomas Jefferson, who doubled the country's size with the Louisiana Purchase. Fun fact, Jefferson's face had to be moved after the first attempt hit bad rock, so they blasted it off and started over. Then came Abraham Lincoln, representing the preservation of the Union during the Civil War. Lincoln's thoughtful face stands for unity and the fight for equality. Finally, Theodore Roosevelt, the force of nature who pushed America into the modern era. Roosevelt was a conservationist, trust-buster, and global leader. Plus, Borglum admired him personally. Each president was chosen for their impact. Washington for founding, Jefferson for expansion, Lincoln for unity, and Roosevelt for progress. Together they tell the story of America's birth, growth, survival, and development. The selection was deliberate. These weren't just famous faces, but symbols of the country's ideals. The monument became a timeline in stone. With the lineup set, it was time to tackle the impossible, carving a mountain. The challenge was enormous, but the vision was clear. 4 faces, 1 mountain, and a story for the ages. The work was about to begin. The world would soon watch as history took shape in granite, and it all started with a blast. Carving 60-foot faces into granite isn't a job for the faint of heart. 400 local miners became sculptors, dangling from cables and wielding dynamite. Most of the rock, over 90%, was removed with carefully calculated blasts. Precision was everything. One wrong move, and the whole project could crack. After blasting, workers used pneumatic drills to honeycomb the surface, then hammers and wedges for detail. The final touch, a bumper tool to smooth the stone and bring the faces to life. Despite the danger, no one died during the 14 years of construction, a remarkable safety record. There were injuries and health risks, but the workers were proud to be part of something lasting. They transformed from miners to artists, shaping a monument for the ages. Every detail, from the eyes to the lips, was painstakingly crafted. The result, 4 presidents, larger than life, staring out over the Black Hills. But there's a deeper story behind Mount Rushmore. The land itself. The Black Hills are sacred to the Lakota Sioux, promised to them by treaty in 1868. That promise was broken when gold was discovered, and the U.S. seized the land. Carving presidents' faces into this sacred place was a painful insult to the Lakota. In 1980, the Supreme Court ruled the land was taken illegally and awarded compensation, but the tribes refused the money. For the Lakota, the Black Hills aren't for sale. They want the land back. The money sits untouched, a symbol of their ongoing fight for justice. To answer Rushmore, the Crazy Horse Memorial was begun nearby. A Native American monument even larger than Rushmore. The two monuments stand as reminders, one of triumph, one of loss. The story of the Black Hills is one of two perspectives, etched into the same landscape. For many, Rushmore is a symbol of democracy. For others, it's a reminder of broken promises. The controversy endures, shaping how we see the monument today. The land story is as important as the faces on the mountain. Mount Rushmore has its secrets. Behind Lincoln's head is a hidden, unfinished chamber, the Hall of Records. Borglum dreamed of a vault holding America's founding documents, but only a tunnel was completed before funding ran out. In the 1990s, a titanium vault with porcelain panels telling Rushmore's story was placed inside. Another fun fact: the original plan was to carve the presidents from the waist up, but money and bad rock stopped that idea. The faces alone are massive, each 60 feet tall, with details like Lincoln's 16-inch mole and Washington's 21-foot nose. Borglum even left a granite pillar in each pupil to create a lifelike glint in the eyes. These weren't just sculptures, they were feats of engineering. The monument was designed to last for thousands of years. Every detail was meant to impress, from the scale to the optical illusions. Rushmore is full of surprises, hidden stories, and unfinished dreams. It's more than meets the eye. The mountain holds secrets as grand as its faces. Today, Mount Rushmore draws millions of visitors and endless selfies. It's a pop culture icon, featured in movies, TV, and ads worldwide. The monument is instantly recognizable, a symbol of America's ambition and contradictions. It sparks debate about history, democracy, and justice. For some, it's a patriotic shrine. For others, a controversial landmark. Rushmore forces us to confront the nation's ideals and its flaws. It's a 60-foot-tall conversation starter. Born from a wild idea, built by determined hands, it still inspires awe and argument. Whether you see triumph or tragedy, you can't ignore it. Borglum and his team created a legacy as solid as granite, and that's why Mount Rushmore still rocks.